Calaroga Shark Media.
From New York City, wait, someone put the debate in New York City. Why? This is Ballot.
I don't know. Neither of these guys would last 5 seconds in New York City without getting mugged. Whatever. Let's hit this. All right, folks. Buckle up for another thrilling round of political theater. Tonight, we've got the vice presidential debate between Tim Walz and J.D. Vance. It's like watching the understudy rehearsal for a Broadway show. You know it's important, but you can't help feeling like you're missing out on the real deal. First up, we've got Tim Walz, the governor of Minnesota. He's so unknown outside his state that when he joined the Democratic ticket, even his own family had to Google him. Meanwhile, J.D. Vance, fresh off his blockbuster memoir Hillbilly Elegy, is now trying his hand at political fan fiction as Trump's running mate. The debate starts at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, which is perfect because that's exactly when most Americans start thinking, you know what would make this evening better? Listening to two politicians I barely know argue about policies they'll never implement. The moderators are Norah O'Donnell and Margaret Brennan. They'll be trying to wrangle these political newbies like substitute teachers on the first day of school. Now, here's the kicker. The debate is happening in New York City. Trump, who ditched the Big Apple faster than a New Yorker spotting a tourist in Times Square, now claims he can win the state. Yeah, and I can win a hot dog eating contest against Joey Chestnut. As for the rules, it's 90 minutes long with 2 4-minute commercial breaks. Perfect for the candidates to frantically Google, what does a vice president do? There's no audience, which is great because we wouldn't want any actual voters interfering with this carefully choreographed political dance. Oh, and get this. They're not allowed to bring notes or props on stage, so if you see Vance fumbling with his pockets, he's probably just looking for his How to Be a Vice President for Dummies cheat sheet. Walls will be on the right side of your screen, Vance on the left. They'll be standing behind podiums, probably wishing they could hide under them instead. And remember, no wandering around the stage allowed. We don't want any lost puppy moments here. There are no opening statements, because why ease into the awkwardness when you can dive right in? Now here's the kicker. There's no audience. It's like a comedian's worst nightmare, but for politicians. They'll be telling their jokes to an empty room, which, let's be honest, isn't that different from most of their campaign rallies. Each candidate gets 2 minutes to answer a question, 2 minutes to respond, and 1 minute for rebuttals. It's like speed dating, but instead of finding love, they're trying to convince America they're not completely useless. Oh, and get this. They have countdown clocks and lights to show how much time they have left. It's like Jeopardy! For policy wonks. I'm half expecting Alex Trebek to pop up and say, I'll take policies no one understands for 200, Alex. The moderators reserve the right to mute the mics. So if you hear sudden silence, it's either technical difficulties or sweet, sweet relief. Former President Trump, not content with just being a spectator, has decided to give us his very own play-by-play of the vice presidential debate. Because if there's one thing we all need, it's more Trump commentary in our lives. Trump's promising to narrate the showdown between brilliant J.D. Vance and highly inarticulate tampon Tim Walz. I gotta say, Trump's nickname game is really slipping. What's next? Toaster Tim? Trombone Tim? Come on, Donald, you're losing your edge. Now, Trump hopes Kamala Harris will be tuning in too. He wants her to witness how he'll make up false facts and stories. Because nothing says vote for me like admitting you're planning to lie, right? The Daily Show is going live after the VP debate between J.D. Vance and Tim Walz. Jon Stewart won't be hosting, but don't worry. Michael Costa will be there to deliver all the hard-hitting analysis, like which candidate had the most awkward water sip, and who blinked more times during questions about the economy. Costa is so excited to fill Jon Stewart's shoes, he's been practicing his incredulous eyebrow raises in the mirror for weeks. And just when you thought the campaign trail couldn't get any wilder, Donald Trump decides to audition for the role of America's next top dystopian overlord. That's right. At a rally in Pennsylvania, the former president channeled his inner movie villain and suggested we solve crime with one really violent day. Because nothing says law and order like turning the country into a real-life version of The Purge, right? Trump, ever the business genius, also let slip that he hated paying overtime. Shocking, I know. Who would have thought the guy with a gold-plated toilet might be a bit stingy? He even admitted he'd replace workers who asked for it. Talk about a "you're fired" moment, am I right? Vice President Kamala Harris, never one to miss a chance to throw some shade, had her campaign brand Trump a scab. I guess in the world of political insults, we've moved on from deplorable to guy who crosses the picket line. Progress, people. And let's not forget Trump's charming habit of insulting his opponents. This time, he's decided to call Harris mentally disabled. Because nothing says presidential material like mocking people with disabilities, right? I'm sure the disability advocacy groups are just thrilled to be dragged into this mess. This is Mac Davies, reminding you that in American politics, the line between reality and satire is about as clear as Trump's tax returns and some jokes written today with the help of AI.